You spend hours buried in textbooks, highlighting until your fingers ache, cramming information like your life depends on it. Then exam day arrives and your mind goes completely blank. Sound familiar? Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to admit. 70% of everything you study vanishes within 24 hours. Gone. Erased. Like it never existed. But here's where it gets interesting. In Japan, students routinely memorize over 2,000 complex kanji characters and retain them for decades. Not weeks, not months, but decades. Meanwhile, you can barely remember what you studied yesterday. The difference isn't intelligence. It's not genetic superiority. It's 5 scientifically proven techniques that hack your brain's natural learning mechanisms. Techniques your teachers never shared because they probably don't know them themselves. Let me share something that changed my perspective completely. Traditional study methods like rereading notes and highlighting paragraphs feel productive, but neuroscience reveals they're actually working against you. Your brain treats repetitive reading like background noise, filtering it out the same way you ignore generic advertisements. This creates an illusion of learning while your memory remains virtually untouched. The forgetting curve, discovered by German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, shows that humans forget approximately 50% of new information within 1 hour. Within 24 hours, that jumps to 70%. By 1 week, you retain less than 10%. This isn't a personal failing. This is basic human neurobiology. But Japanese students discovered how to beat this biological limitation centuries ago. The first breakthrough technique is active recall, and it's the complete opposite of everything you've been taught. Most students focus on input, constantly absorbing information through reading and listening. But memory strengthens through output, forcing your brain to retrieve information without external cues. Think about learning to drive. You didn't become skilled by watching driving videos repeatedly. You practiced actually driving, making mistakes, correcting them, building neural pathways through repetition and struggle. Every time you force your brain to remember something without looking at your notes, you're strengthening those memory connections. Close your textbook right now. Take a blank sheet of paper and write everything you remember about your last lesson. The struggle you feel isn't failure. It's your brain building stronger neural networks. This technique alone can improve retention by over 300% according to cognitive psychology research. The second technique is the Kuman method, breaking complex information into manageable daily portions. Japanese educator Toru Kuman developed this approach after watching his son struggle with mathematics. Instead of overwhelming students with massive amounts of information, Kuman created bite-sized learning segments that build upon each other systematically. Modern neuroscience confirms this approach is optimal for long-term retention. Your brain can only process limited information effectively before cognitive overload occurs. When you try to absorb too much at once, your working memory becomes overwhelmed and information gets discarded rather than stored. The solution is deceptively simple. Study for 20 focused minutes daily rather than 5 hours once per week. This approach leverages your brain's natural consolidation process, where memories transfer from short-term to long-term storage during rest periods between study sessions. The third game-changing technique is spaced repetition, a method that works with your brain's forgetting curve rather than against it. German scientist Ebbinghaus didn't just discover the forgetting curve, he also found the solution. By reviewing information at strategically timed intervals, you can dramatically extend memory retention. The optimal spacing pattern is reviewing after 1 day, then 3 days, then 1 week, then 2 weeks, then 1 month. Each review session strengthens the memory trace, making it more resistant to forgetting. This isn't theoretical speculation. Neuroscience research using brain imaging shows that spaced repetition literally changes your brain structure, increasing connections between neurons and making retrieval pathways more efficient. Students using spaced repetition retain information up to 5 times longer than those using traditional cramming methods. The fourth technique is Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous improvement through small daily actions. Rather than expecting dramatic overnight transformation, Kaizen focuses on consistent 1% improvements. This approach leverages compound growth, where small gains accumulate into substantial results over time. Consider this mathematical reality. Improving 1% daily results in being 37 times better after 1 year. Compare this to someone who improves 37% once and then stops. The consistent improver wins decisively. Japanese students apply Kaizen to learning through a simple 6-minute daily formula. 2 minutes of active recall, retrieving information from memory without notes. 2 minutes of spaced repetition, reviewing previous material at optimal intervals. 2 minutes of focused practice, applying concepts to solve problems or answer questions. This 18-minute weekly investment produces better results than hours of traditional study. The fifth technique is creating optimal focus states through environmental design and ritual. Japanese students practice something called flow state cultivation, where external distractions disappear and